is short, life is precious. Chase your dreams because if you don't, who's going to?
Welcome to the Coles Ventures Podcast.
Yeah, we'll just jump right in, I guess.
Let's do it.
Okay. Well, yeah, thanks for coming on. I know you're a busy guy.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited to chat. You have a very interesting background.
Right.
I'm excited to jump into, but if you just kind of want to start, general overview is usually kind of how we started this.
Okay.
And you can
so
kind
I went to Lewis and Clark High School here in Spokane.
Local guy.
Go
Tigers.
Go Tigers. Went to the University of Washington, got my degree in economics. Started my career as a bank auditor at Bank of America over in Seattle.
Okay.
First on the IT side, then on the financial side. And I really enjoyed it. It was a great learning experience. I worked with some really good people. One of my bosses, her husband, named Ted, was an early engineer at Aldus Corporation.
Okay.
They did PageMaker. And then he and a couple of his colleagues, Dave Walter and Jeremy Jake, split off and did Visio.
Oh, wow.
At that time, it was called Axon Corporation.
Okay.
And they were looking for an associate program manager. And Linda, my boss at Bank of America, introduced me to Ted. And I got the job. They took a real chance on me. I was not qualified for the job. But they figured, the guy seems to have somewhat of a brain.
Yeah.
We can kind of train him up the way we want him to do things. So I joined, I think I was employee number 12 or so, very early. And that was just a fantastic ride, start to finish. I worked for Ted Johnson, one of the co-founders and the CTO. Just the best boss a newbie could ask for.
Yeah.
He took the time to kind of bring me along. He gave me a lot of responsibility early on. I'd been there not even a year, and I flew back east and met with the IT manager at the White House, the Department of Energy, with Ernst & Winnie. I think they're Ernst & Young now, at the top of the Trade Center.
Jeez.
We met with the CIA. It's just an incredible opportunity. And so I really had a chance to learn from the ground up how to build a successful company.
Yeah.
The founders there just knew what they were doing, and the rest of us could follow their lead.
Mm-hmm.
I was there probably 7.5 years. Fantastic. Just start to finish, I have nothing but positive things to say about that. The company grew from pre-product to about $250 million in revenue.
Oh my gosh.
We went public. Alex Brown took us public. Eventually, we were acquired by Microsoft for about $1.5 billion.
Jeez.
Just an incredible learning opportunity, and nice to put a few dollars in my pocket.
Yeah, definitely.
From there, I went to Mercata. Not quite as good.
Yeah.
It was Paul Allen Company. Great team, but we spent a lot of money. We burned through about $100 million in money in funds. And then the dot-com bubble burst. Company went out of business. From there, I went to another startup, InView Software, started by a couple of ex-Visio guys. We developed a product, this is way back in the day, kind of like Slack. Very, very community-based, very collaborative-based. Great product. I still have that on one of my old machines called Momentum. We were going to get acquired by Sun Microsystems. They hit some turbulent times, and we ended up having to just go out of business. That was a tough one.
Nice.
Then I went to Concur, was there, great team, and planned on staying there. And then I got contacted by a recruiter for Rendition Networks, another startup. So I jumped there. Rendition Networks was founded by some ex-Microsoft folks. They were really, really good at what they did. And then we were eventually acquired by Opsware out of Sunnyvale.
Okay.
Opsware was founded by 4 or 5 guys, 2 of whom were Ben Horowitz and Mark Andreessen.
Wow.
I really didn't know who they were, quite frankly. I certainly do now.
Yeah.
And then we grew the business out from there. We're acquired by HP for about 1.7 billion. From there, after we were acquired by HP, I took some time away from high tech, worked at the American Heart Association for about 3 years.
Okay.
Just wanted to try something different.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic experience. That was here in Spokane. Loved every minute of it. Great opportunity. And then Todd Sullivan contacted me, or maybe I contacted him, about a startup he had in the works, newhomes.house. He and I joined forces. We were starting to make some real progress with the startup we had there. We had builders, lenders, real estate agents on board. We'd had some sales, and then COVID hit, and residential construction just cratered.
Yeah.
So from there, where did I go from there? From there, I went to RowStream, where I was recruited by Josh Collins, another Spokane guy. He rowed with John Anderson at the University of Pennsylvania. John is the visionary. I'm sort of the guy who executes and keeps the trains running on time. We're a great partnership, and I've been at RowStream ever since. So it's a long-winded way of saying that's where I am today.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of touched on something at the very beginning that's like, you know, the first position you had was kind of almost by happenstance. It's kind of just, hey,
I got
connected
lucky.
here.
I got lucky.
Yeah.
I have no problem admitting that. I got lucky, and I tried to make the most of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you, I mean, kind of catapulted from one to one to one to one? Were you actively kind of looking for these different positions, or kind of how did those come about?
They tended to fall in my lap when I was at Vizio, and I loved Vizio. I mean, it was just a great company. Jeremy and Ted and Dave Walter, the three founders, great founders, great people, very generous with their employees. I remember one time we just to give you one quick example, when we shipped version 5.0, it was, you know, the code name was Hawaii 5.0 after the television show. After we shipped, the company paid for us and our families to go to Hawaii for 4 or 5 days.
That's awesome.
Just a great family culture. And I wasn't looking, but then I got a call from a startup in Bellevue, Mercata. They were doing an e-commerce demand aggregation company. And I wasn't planning on leaving Vizio, but you know, they made a really nice offer. It was a chance to do something a little different. Vizio had gotten really big, and it was a tough decision, but I decided to go to Mercata. Great learning experience, not nearly as successful. Just not nearly as successful, which, I mean, that's just the risk you take with startups.
Yeah.
But met some great folks, still keep in touch with many of them, and just really fortunate. So a lot of these opportunities have just kind of happened to come my way, and when they have, I've tried to take advantage of them. Yeah.
What's been your favorite stage to work in? I mean, you've kind of worked with really small team, first hire on the team, and then obviously grown to much larger team. Which do you see yourself flourishing more in?
Probably, I really like being early on.
Yeah.
Just because it's an opportunity to help kind of guide the ship. Where are we going? What are we trying to build?
Yeah.
What's our mission? What problem are we trying to solve? That's probably my favorite, just because it's so much fun and you have so much responsibility. And if you succeed, great. And if not, it's kind of on you because you didn't, or COVID in the case of newhomes.house.
Right.
I really like very early stage because it's just a chance to really partner with good people and just build something that the world hasn't seen before.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exciting. I mean, could you ever, I mean, it's such a unique career flow. Yeah. I mean, most people out there now, like, would never even think about working for a startup or, even know what a startup is. And you've kind of, that's all you've done. Was that on purpose, or was that, again, kind of just
it's funny,
path of life?
It's funny you asked that. Like, when I was in college, originally I planned on majoring in engineering and then going, to work for an engineering firm of some kind or another. And I quickly realized I'm not that good at it, and I didn't really love it.
Yeah.
So I was kind of struggling a little bit to find out what I wanted to major in. And a friend of mine who ended up majoring in chemical engineering said, you should try economics because it's heavily math-based, which I do like, but it's also very, very much a social science. So it's kind of the best of both worlds for me. I majored in that, not really knowing where I was going to end up. And it turns out, and this goes back to your original observation, so I've just sort of landed places. There was an opportunity. I'd gotten a scholarship from Seafirst Bank. They had a reception for us after I graduated. I met with a recruiter there. He put me in touch with somebody in their audit department. And again, I really wasn't qualified for the job, but the guy had also majored in economics. And so he felt like a little bit of a kinship. So I thought, well, we'll take a chance on this guy. We can train him up. And so that's what happened. But I always thought I was going to be either in corporate or, quite honestly, be a teacher. I thought I was going to be a math teacher very early on. I'd still like to get back to that. I do a lot of tutoring. So the idea of doing a startup, I kind of didn't even really know what a startup was. And so when I went to Visio, I just got to learn from the ground up what it takes to build a great product and a great company, under the tutelage of just some really good folks who knew how to do it.
I mean, I'm sure you've gotten lots of pieces of advice throughout and trainings and all that. Is there any moment or specific training or maybe project that you were working on that you think was the best, you learned the most, or something that carried you on to the rest of your career?
That is a great question. Probably the best piece of advice I ever got, I got a lot of great advice, but if I had to distill it down to one bit of advice, it's probably from Ted Johnson, one of the co-founders at Visio, when he said, Steve, take the work seriously. You got people counting on you, whether it's customers or your colleagues, but don't take yourself too seriously. We're all replaceable. So don't be thinking you're all that, because you ain't. And that really resonated with me. So that when I start to think, I'm doing something pretty exciting, those words of advice always come back to remind me, it can go away like that. So stay humble, work hard, and hopefully the rest will take care of itself. In terms of projects, probably not. There's one thing that I did when I was at Ops that we're real proud of as a team. We developed, and I'll make this quick because it's kind of boring, but we developed, our software was used to manage network devices, huge network devices. I mean, we had, banks and hospital systems and the State Department, the Senate, the United States Postal Service using our product. And the product had two parts: the engine that did all the work, and then the device drivers, which actually interface with the network devices. We were very reactive to start. As requests came in, we would work on them. Over time, we were able to turn the corner and become very proactive and partner with the Ciscos of the world, the F5s of the world. And as they were releasing new products or new operating systems for their products, we would partner with them and make sure that we supported them as they were going to market. So that was a game changer for us, because it allowed us to get ahead of the curve and be a lot more on top of things, which is our customers really appreciated. So it took a lot of work. The whole team was involved with that, certainly not just me, but that was just a great opportunity to kind of go from being reactive to being proactive and seeing the fruits of that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, being on kind of the team, the first journeymen or trailblazers or what have you on that team versus now kind of trailblazing yourself, founding and starting this new venture, which more do you see yourself aligning with? Are you more of a team guy? Are you more, hey, let's, go out into some uncharted waters and see what we can do?
I'm probably more of a team guy, and here's why I say that. The best success I've had in my career, that I've been fortunate to have in my career, has always been partnering up with somebody who's more of the visionary, somebody who really sees what the customer problem is, understands it, understands how to craft a solution to solve it. I'm getting better at that. I'm growing into that role. And then I've been the guy who executes on that vision, the guy who keeps the trains running on time, herds the cats, makes sure we're developing the product on time to deliver the solution. So that's where I've had probably the best success is, partnering with somebody who's really the visionary, and then working with that person to execute on it. Like I said, I'm growing into the visionary part, but that's probably not my strength. It's execution.
It's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, you go from it's easier to like, okay, we're trying to do. How do we think we get there? To being like, hey, blank slate. What do you want to do? Let's figure out something. Is difficult.
And I've never been the blank slate guy. I've always Todd was the builder and the property developer, and it was his vision for newhomes.house. John was the rower. It was his vision for RowStream. The founders at Visio, it was their vision for drawing and diagramming. But it's always been a good fit for me to work with those guys and help bring it to market.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's talk a little bit more about RowStream.
Okay.
That's your current adventure.
Right.
Can you just dabble a little bit on what that is, what you guys are working on?
Sure.
All that.
And my business partner, John Anderson, was the brainchild behind it. He rode at Penn. He was on the U.S. national team. He's very accomplished, a very accomplished athlete, which I am not.
Not yet.
Not yet. Very good point. And he, as he'd been away from rowing, but he did a lot of indoor rowing, on the ergometer.
Yep.
But it's a slog. It's a great workout, but it sucks.
It's like the treadmill.
It's a treadmill.
Just
It's
staring
boring.
at that blank wall.
It's a grind. You're isolated. It's just unpleasant. So I thought, God, I'd love to connect with my old rowing buddies, even though they're scattered across the globe, and be able to row together and talk to each other and encourage each other and more likely trash talk each other and do it in real time. And that was the genesis for RowStream. Okay. And so I came on. He had actually started down that road, and Josh was one of his advisors. And Josh, I've known Josh since third or fourth grade. So he contacted me and said, "Hey, I think you and John would be a great partnership." So he contacted me. I met John. He and I immediately clicked. I mean, just immediately clicked. And we've been working together on it ever since.
Nice.
And the product is out. It's available right now on both Apple App Store and Google Play.
Nice.
We're not charging right now. We're trying to get traction.
Sure.
Gain some users. Eventually, we will charge. We're partnering with U.S. Rowing and colleges and universities. So we've got kind of a line of sight of where we want to go, both on the kind of the B2B side. And then eventually direct to consumer. Like, it's available now, direct to consumer.
Yeah.
That's a much harder slog. A lot of noise out there. You got to break through it. The B2B approach will get us some initial traction, get us a toehold, and then that'll be the launch pad to the B2C.
Yeah. More of a community activities and exercises platform.
Yeah, absolutely.
How does it connect with, I'm assuming connects with the at-home rower, what is it, the erg?
Yes, the Concept 2. Right now, we're focused primarily on the Concept 2 because it's the gold standard. It's the one that all the colleges and universities and Olympic teams use. It's what CrossFit uses. It's what High Rocks uses. So it made sense to support them. They have an open platform, an open API, and it's allowed us to create the boathouse paradigm, and by that I mean, with a lot of connected fitness apps out there, which are fantastic. I mean, there's a lot of great stuff out there.
Yeah.
But it tends to be content streamed at you and or instructional. Good stuff.
Yeah.
But what about the person who says, "Look, I just want to row with my friends.
Yeah.
I don't want to row with a bunch of randos.
Yeah.
I want to row with my buddies,
right,
or my friends and family, or my work colleagues."
Yep.
Well, our platform allows you to do that. You can create an unlimited number of boathouses, have anybody you want in them. You can have your own boathouse, one with friends and family, one with work colleagues, one with your college buddies. It's trivial to move back and forth between the two, and it allows you to control who you work out with, when you work out with them, and you have total privacy. You can customize the boathouse, the whole 9 yards. So that's really resonating with people, the ability to have control over it.
Yeah.
You could still be an instructor. We have some instructors who have just started using the platform to do personal instruction, and it's well suited for that. But our target is really letting people work out with the people they choose to.
Yeah. Where do you guys see this going in terms of the competitive landscapes? I mean, you have Strava that kind of is targeting a lot of people, less on the community side of things.
Right.
I mean, Garmin, Under Armour's got a running one. I'm sure I'm missing probably hundreds.
There's a lot of folks in it.
Right.
So the good news is it's a huge market. It's connected fitness is about 27 billion now. It's projected in 8 or 10 years to get up to potentially 300 billion.
Wow.
So there's a lot of opportunity for everybody.
Yeah.
And our approach is to really be personal fitness communities. Mm-hmm. You get to choose who you work out with, when you work out with them, and you have the control over the privacy. You can, invite people, disinvite them if they're troublemakers, and we see that as being our sweet spot, where it's people who just want to work out with their friends and colleagues.
Yeah.
The other that's part A. Part B, like I said, is colleges and universities, Olympic rowing teams. Yep. More formal rowing organizations. And then beyond that, we want to be adopting kind of the opsware model where, we're the software layer and we support all the different hardware types. So not just rowing machines, but eventually bikes and skiing and treadmills and any other cardio type equipment where you might want to work out with friends and family. And we can be that glue that brings you together.
Yeah.
And like I said, that model is what we did at Opsware with network devices, and it proved very fruitful. So we're hoping we can transfer that to fitness.
Definitely. How do you guys look at it in terms of user adoption, I guess? Because I'm assuming, right now going after very specific, USA rowing leagues and rowing teams for universities. Is your guys' overall goal to focus on that market segment, or do you think eventually you're going to want to try to broaden it so that you get people who, hey, I've never rowed before, but my buddy over here rows, and he's like, hey, get this cool app and we can row together. Is that kind of where you're thinking to break down the barrier for that?
That's the long-term future. Yeah. So to start to get that additional traction that we really want, it's with the U.S. rowing. I think U.S. Rowing has like 1,400 membership clubs and organizations. Wow. There are hundreds of college crews. Gonzaga, we've been working very closely with Gonzaga. Yeah. There are dozens of high school rowing teams, primarily in California on the East Coast. Yep. So our goal is to really support them, make sure that we meet their needs, get adoption with them, and then use that as the launch pad to the broader, market of people like you and me who just want to row a couple times a week with our friends just to try and stay in shape. Yeah. That's the longer vision.
Yeah. Where do you guys see the overall community aspect of this growing? Because I think that's a pretty hot topic right now. Is there's a lot more run clubs. Right. People are drinking less. People are partying less. Right. People are kind of more shifting towards, hey, I got to look out after my health, and I'm going to join a run club instead of a beer on Tuesdays club.
And it's funny you mentioned that. I was just doing a little research on running clubs, and they have really exploded.
There's like 8 in town. Yeah. You could, I think every day of the week, if you wanted to, you could probably go to a different one.
And that makes sense because, when, what we found is the accountability piece is huge. It's like, if you're just left to your own devices, it's really easy to say, well, tomorrow, for sure I'll go running. For sure I'll row. For sure I'll go cycling. But if you got people kind of waiting on you and you're sort of expected to be part of the team, even if it's loosely organized, that ramps it up a little bit. So the community aspect we see as being huge, definitely. And like I said, our sweet spot is going to be giving users complete control over who they work out with. Yeah. And so they control their community. If you want to join a huge group, great. If you want to have your own tiny group, great. If you want to just row alone in your own boathouse and just row to some videos, fine. We support it all. It's trivial to create these boathouses and eventually, virtual ski lodges and biking clubs and all that. Sure. We're gonna make it easy to do, fun to do. We've got chat, we've got video. So when you're working out with other rowers, you can see them on screen like a Zoom call. Yeah. So you can see who's getting tired, so you can ramp it up a little bit and put that guy to shame. Right. Or you can see who's really going strong, so you need to ramp it up. And we found that we support both competitive rowing, so you can do head-to-head racing. You can form a virtual boat and race against another virtual boat or several other virtual boats. Yeah. And then you could also just do social rowing, up to 50 folks at a time. Where look, we're just trying to get a workout. We're not, we're not trying to browbeat each other. We just want to work out. So again, we support all of that from within the app, and it's trivial to choose which kind of workout type you want. So we see that as being huge, especially when time is tight. Right. Sometimes it can be hard to meet with people. Nobody's going to drag their rowing machine out of their basement, throw it in their car to go to their friend's house to row together. And so we make it so you don't need to do that.
Yeah. That's awesome. Was there ever a time in any of the other companies you worked with where the community features, or maybe the community even of the company, was kind of the differentiator?
Not really. Okay. The one thing that was interesting, though, Vizio, it did not really have a community feature, but there was a really strong community behind it. I'd go to trade shows and people just loved the product, and there was definitely a strong community behind it. The other one that did have a community feature of sorts was InView software, where we made the Slack-like product. We had text chat, we had in-document chat. So let's say you were a wedding planner and you were laying out the tables and who's going to sit where. That drawing, had its own separate text chat that was attached to the drawing. So you could chat with everybody who, you could chat with other family members, with the wedding coordinator, and then it would be stored with the document, so you had it as an audit trail to go back to. So that definitely had a community aspect to it. And now with RowStream, we're just trying to apply that, on steroids, no offense, to the fitness community.
Yeah, that's awesome. I want to back up a little bit and talk a bit about mentoring.
Okay.
We talked about that a little bit. kind of going through, and you've had, I'm sure, multiple people that you keep in touch with now. But how we talk a lot about that on the podcast, of how mentoring has played a part in almost every single entrepreneur that I bring in here.
Absolutely.
It's in some way threaded through their story.
Right.
How has mentoring, whether you've been mentored, or I'm sure now are a mentor for other people trying to start their own businesses, how has that impacted your career?
I can't think of anything that's probably had a bigger impact than that. So again, starting out with Vizio, where I was new to high tech, new to startups, Ted and others at Vizio were just fantastic mentors. Always took the time to kind of educate me, bring me along. As I've gone through my career, I've tried to give back as much as I can, as much as time permits, because I've been so fortunate to receive it. I want to give it. And one of the areas I've been able to do, two areas in particular, I've done a lot of tutoring, which is just a great way to help kids succeed in school.
Sure.
And through Gonzaga, like the new Venture Lab. It's an opportunity to get their expertise and their abilities and apply it to what we're doing. But it's a chance to mentor them and make some introductions and do things that I was fortunate to have. Gonzaga's programs along those lines, whether it's New Venture Lab or Zag's Business Plus Tech or the Gonzaga Sport Consulting Group. I just tip my hat to Gonzaga. They have done such a fantastic job with those programs, supporting the students that, I wish I had those kinds of things when I was a student, because they are just difference makers.
Definitely. You kind of had it on both ends, because as an advisor for New Venture Lab and then also running RowStream through that program, you've kind of been full circle through the whole thing.
Absolutely. And it's funny because, one of the things that John and I joke about at RowStream is, neither of us just know anything about social media. We just don't know anything about social media.
It's a beast.
We don't know about social media marketing. Yeah. We don't know how to, push the right buttons and get traction. And the younger generation is just better at it. So we've relied heavily on them to help us do it and to help educate us. And it's just been a fascinating journey to learn from them as well as teach them as we've gone through it.
Definitely. And I think, I'm sure you can attest to this as well, but I feel like Spokane being kind of a smaller market, there's a lot more opportunity for people saying, hey, I'm looking for this. I need advice on this.
Absolutely.
It's like, oh, I know, this. And if you don't know, maybe it's somebody that you know that knows somebody else. That's just, you can talk with anybody and
it's
probably
such
get
a great
anywhere.
community. I mean, it's probably 1 or 2 degrees of separation.
Yeah.
And the programs, that Coles Ventures does, that Tom Simpson does through Ignite and Spokane Angel Alliance. I mean, it is a fantastic ecosystem to be able to plug into, and everybody's so helpful. I've never once have I run into a situation like where I've needed some help, or I've needed a connection to somebody, and somebody just said, "No, I'm not going to help you."
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen.
Right.
Everybody realizes that a rising tide lifts all boats, and we're a small community. We all do better when one of us does better. So let's help each other as much as we can, and that's absolutely what happens.
Yeah, definitely. And then, I mean, for people that are actively looking for mentors, or maybe they're not sure where to go, what would you suggest?
I would suggest, they're certainly willing to contact me. I mean, I'm happy to help out anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, Steve at RowStream.com. Send me an email, and I'm happy to help. I would suggest contacting people like yourself, people like Tom Simpson, Gonzaga, people like me. I would reach out to those folks and organizations, and you'll be put in touch with somebody who can help for sure. Kelly from New Venture Lab is a fantastic resource. She does such a great job. Contact her. Those probably 5 or 6 folks and organizations, one of them will be able to help you for sure.
Definitely. I think you're 100% right. And I think you agree that, everyone's here to help everybody.
Yep.
So that's
Absolutely.
awesome. That's awesome.
I mean, so many people have helped me. Too many to count. Anything I can do to give back is just something I like to do, I want to do, and it's a privilege to be able to do it.
Yeah. Let's place yourself back at the start. You're looking for a job. You're trying to figure out what to do. Maybe you're in the midst, kind of mid-career. When you're looking at companies to join, thinking about starting your own, are there any specific data points or, red flags, green flags that you're looking for, not looking for? How do you kind of judge an opportunity and say, maybe that's not for me?
For me, I tend to gravitate toward businesses and opportunities where I kind of know something about it.
Sure.
Like biotech, I'm probably not your guy.
Yeah.
I'm just not an expert in that area. I don't pretend to be. There are plenty of people out there who are. Certainly, you can find a better fit. So it's things that I have typically done before or know something about. Fitness, although I'm certainly not an expert, I have some knowledge there. Desktop software, enterprise software. Those are areas where I have experience. I have hopefully some expertise. I have some connections. So those are good fits for me.
Yeah. No, it totally makes sense. Did your company have AI?
So that is a great question. It's
a hot button topic.
We have sort of, I would call it adjacent AI, and here's what I mean by that. So our CTO actually works for Google. He's part-time for us, full-time for Google.
Sure.
And he's put us in contact with some folks. We don't have AI specifically in the product right now, but one of our objectives on our roadmap is to basically provide AI-based coaching. So especially like you were saying, if you're new to rowing and you don't know what form you should have, and I mean, it can be a little intimidating.
Yeah, I mean, I think with any sport, it's like if you're not, you can get into it. Like, I think this is how I'm supposed to do it, but
is it?
I have no idea. Right.
So the idea is that we'll bake in some AI coaching that can, using your front-facing camera, that can analyze your form and make tips and recommendations. Yeah. So you just get a better workout. You're not hurting yourself. You're not straining yourself. That'll be kind of on the front end, and then more on the back end. We'd like to get to the point where it can really help coaches at elite levels to really get the most out of their rowers. Because John was telling me he was in a national race. This was years ago, and they won by a partial boat length. I mean, just the tiniest little bit can make the biggest difference. So anything we can do that can help coaches get the most out of their rowers can be the difference between being on the podium and being in last place. So that's a longer term vision, because that's when you're really getting into the minutia. But that's something we definitely expect to be doing
for sure
in the months and years to come.
For sure. As somebody who's kind of seen the full spectrum of tech, do you have any hot takes on AI? I mean, people talk about it all the time. It's in this, it's in that. Where every company that we look at now is, oh, we're this, but it's mixed in with AI and it's blah, blah, blah. So
I think there's and I'm not an AI expert. I want to say that up front. But from what I've seen, especially talking to folks who are deeply embedded in it, it is game changing. I mean, it's as you know, it's going to be world changing. I mean, it's going to be like the Industrial Revolution, like the internet, maybe even bigger. So it's going to be hugely important and impactful across the board. That said, most companies who are doing it will lose money. Power law will apply to AI like it does with everything else. Mm-hmm. There'll be some companies that really hit it well and do it right and solve important problems. Hopefully in like the health fields, I think that's an area where AI can make a huge difference, identifying trends and just combing through all that massive data. And that's the end of my health knowledge. So I think it will be a huge game changer, and most companies will not see the gold at the end of the rainbow.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at it in any of the big companies. I mean, Google's throwing a bunch of money at it. OpenAI has obviously ripped and burned through, billions and billions of dollars just to get, incrementally a little bit better.
Right.
I mean, at what point do you see companies just being like, okay, I'm not even going to worry about it. I'm just going to go use theirs. And does that pose a problem that, at that point you could probably have a, monopoly or oligopoly or whatever of like.
So I think, that's an interesting question. The companies that are doing so well now that you hear about the OpenAIs and the Anthropics and stuff, and I've used all their products and they're good for the limited, bits that I'm using them. It will be interesting to see which of those companies becomes, Facebook successful or MySpace not successful.
Yeah.
It's way too early to tell, I think. I think we're just in the first inning. Things are moving so fast, and again, I'm no expert, but it'll be interesting to see which companies kind of figure it out. And to me, the companies that might eventually win in the end will be companies that figure out a solution that requires way less energy consumption and way less corporate compute. And I'm not saying I know who those companies are. Maybe they're not even there yet. Yeah. Smarter people than me are tackling that problem. But I think the companies that could really figure out how to scale, vastly scale and do it inexpensively and not, burn through the power grid, are going to have a really good chance at being successful. And the other ones that will be successful will be the ones I think that solve really important problems, like I said, especially in the healthcare. There's so many health issues that can be tackled, I think, with AI that I think that's just a real greenfield opportunity, and I'm sure you know more about it than I do, that I'd like to see AI go after that and just, make us all healthier and not and reduce our pain and suffering and hope have us live a little bit longer and just improve quality of life for people across the board.
Definitely. I mean, you talked a little bit earlier about, reactive versus proactive. And I feel like with the advent of AI in healthcare, you're going to see a lot more proactive health tech, whatever you want to call it. So. I mean, with the new watches and the rings and all that, I mean, there's so many data metrics that people have now. And then at that point, it's like, okay, I've got all this data and that's cool, but now what do I do with it? Right. And so that's, I think, still a gap that people have of, like I have one, my girlfriend's got the Aura ring or whatever. And it's like, oh, I slept like crap. I'm like, oh yeah, my phone confirms that. I'm like, well, okay, well that's cool. But what do we do about that now?
That's great to understand. It's great to raised the problem, but how do we solve the problem now?
Exactly.
And I hold out hope that AI will be able to help us do that. I mean,
for sure.
I think about friends and family that have stomach issues, which are common in my family, and quite honestly, there's not a lot of knowledge about it. I mean, it's such a big problem to solve, so many variables, and I think that in time AI will be really good at tackling those kinds of problems because it can just crunch through data and analyze vast amounts of information that we humans just can't do.
Well, just trends and patterns, right? So like, hey, this person over here that's had, heart issues, this is what they're doing wrong. And this person's got the same, BPM or heart EKG, readings. Oh, maybe they're the same.
Right.
And it's like, for a person, it's like, I'm not going to look over here and then somehow connect that with somebody way over here.
Right.
But with a, bot just ripping through numbers all day, every day.
Right.
Probably
the one concern, and I think they'll be able to tackle it, of course, is privacy and keeping confidential information confidential and anonymizing people's information when you're doing large studies, et cetera. Because it's nobody's business what somebody's health is.
Sure.
So as long as that is properly safeguarded, I think the sky's the limit. I really do.
Yeah, I think I completely agree with what you said. I think it's early innings, for sure. For sure.
And it'll be interesting to see how many of the early successful players now are at the finish line 5, 10, 15 years from now, and are still around and are still solving problems. And it'll just be exciting to see how that plays out. Yeah,
and I think too of there's a lot of tools out there, and kind of like what I talked about, all the companies we're looking at or companies that are coming out are, hey, we do this AI, AI native or AI this, and it's like, and that's great, but if people don't know how to use it, and if it's there but it's not really benefiting me, I think that's going to be where companies differentiate themselves, is like, hey, we have AI and here's how you can use it to make yourself better.
Yeah. Are you solving an important problem?
Is it doing something for you? Or is it just cool to have?
Or is it just cool? And a perfect example, this is way back when I was at Visa, there was a kind of a quasi-competitor that exists. I can't remember the name of the product. And it was a really cool app. I mean, it could do a lot of different things. It was a little bit like our business drawing and diagramming. It was a little bit like, Adobe Illustrator. It was a little bit like CAD. So it did a little bit of everything and none of it well. And it went out of business. Yeah. So I think one of the key things that's going to be important for AI, any company generally, but AI companies specifically, is define your problem well and solve it well. Yeah. And if you can do that, you got a fighting chance. Right. I know we call a lot of companies we look at solutions, looking for problems. Yep. Like, I made this cool thing, and it's like, no, it needs to go the other way. Right. You need to have people that are like, hey, this is a problem that I'm having. Like, oh, let me make something to solve that, versus the opposite way. It's like, it's so cool though. It's like, no, it is cool. And I love cool. I love cool things. But am I going to pay for it? Yeah. At some point, somebody has to pay for it. Yeah. And cool is not going to get you there. Yeah. Definitely. If you're transporting yourself back in the day and you're coming out of college and you're looking at, new and exciting industries, what are you going to be looking at? Is it health tech AI? Is it AI companies at all? Or are you kind of assessing the scene? That's a great question. It would probably be one of three things. Okay. Health tech AI, yes, because I just see that the future of applying AI to solve health problems is just enormous. It will genuinely help people. It's something that's important, and it'd be fun to be a part of that. Yeah. The other part would be, I'd consider going into the trades. Doing something. It's a big one. Where, I'm physically building something or repairing something. I think there's a lot to be said for. When we started today, we didn't have this. We had a hole in the ground, and now we got a foundation. Right. I mean, I know that my friend Todd Sullivan, he really gets a lot of joy out of building houses and doing property development for that reason. You have something tangibly better at the end of the day than that you didn't. Right. So I would consider the trades. And I'd still consider going into teaching. That's still a passion of mine. I do think that that's something I'll do once I'm retired, whether it's, tutoring or something. I mean, my wife and I have talked a lot about what we want to do when we're retired, because you got to have a reason to get up. You
got to have something.
As Jeremy Jake at Vizio told me, one of the reasons he started Vizio was you can only play so much golf.
I was just saying that to somebody. We were to this conference, and all these people that were presenting are third, fourth time founders, and some of them late in their career, middle of their career, and we're all sitting there and we're like, gosh, all these guys with just countless amounts in the bank,
right?
And like, why do they keep coming back? And I was like, it's probably you can only travel so much. There's only so many rounds of golf, although it is a lot. There's a limit of what am I doing?
You gotta be driven to do something. I just think if you don't have something in addition to playing to get up for, it's not gonna. You're not gonna have you may have a shorter life, and it's not gonna be high quality.
Yeah, gotta have that purpose.
I just think humans are wired that way.
Yeah.
We got to have a reason to do something.
Gotta have something.
And teaching is just a real passion of mine. So I think when I'm retired, I will do, whether it's mentoring, tutoring, teaching part-time at, Spokane Community College, if they'd have me, something where I get to do that, because that's just a huge passion of mine. And I think it's a good fit for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. You also do some nonprofit work on the side.
Yes.
Let's talk about
that. We do I do some nonprofit work on the side, and when I worked at the American Heart Association, which was a nonprofit, we got paid. That's really fulfilling, because you're not doing it to try to chase a dollar.
Yeah.
You're just doing it because it's just nice to give back. It's nice to kind of say thank you for all the people that have helped me. It's a way to give back in a way that I can do it. That hopefully makes somebody's life or day just a little bit better.
That's awesome.
And I will definitely continue to do that when I'm retired. In fact, whatever teaching or tutoring I do, I really think that's where I'm going to end up. I certainly don't plan on doing it for money. It's going to be an all-volunteer army.
Yeah. I mean, they got some pretty great breaks. The vacation policy at the schools is pretty good.
It's really good. It's really good. But I'm probably going to want to play a little more than they allow.
For sure.
But I did some tutoring fairly recently, and gosh, it just really resonates with me.
Feels good.
I really enjoy it. Yeah.
That's awesome. What kept you coming back? I mean, you're on your 6th, 7th startup. What is that just addiction?
It's a couple things. One is just opportunity to work on interesting projects with interesting people. Yeah. I mean, I've just been so fortunate that the startups that I've done, even the ones that didn't necessarily succeed financially, I've had a chance to work with just some really special people, and that's always a gift.
Yeah.
And my wife is so supportive. I mean, she's in social work and she's in counseling, a completely different universe, and she is so supportive of kind of letting me chase my dream. And when you've got a spouse who is that supportive, it makes all the difference in the world.
That's awesome.
Sure.
I think you're also a couple people have said that as well, of wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my partner, whoever. It's like there was a time when it's good now, but there's a time when it wasn't.
Right.
And that's so
having
important.
A spouse who says, go after it.
Gotta do it.
Life is short, life is precious. Chase your dreams, because if you don't, who's going to? So having a supportive spouse makes all the difference in the world.
I love that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of, I'm sure you've hit some difficult, tough times in your career. Is there one specific one, or maybe a couple, that really stick out as I don't know what I'm doing here?
There are two. The first was InView Software, where we had this just really cool product, state of the art. The people who we actually had some sales, they really liked it, and we just ran out of money. We just ran out of money, and then, which was okay, because Sun Microsystems was going to buy us, and they hit some really turbulent waters, and they couldn't buy us. They were eventually acquired by Oracle, if I'm not mistaken, and we just had to shut it down. That was heartbreaking.
That's tough.
That was heartbreaking. And then working with Todd Sullivan on newhomes.house, we were really getting traction. Buyers liked it, real estate agents, lenders, builders. I mean, we really were going in a positive direction. I was really excited. And then COVID hit, and residential construction just shut down. Now, granted, so many people had so many more life-changing events with COVID than we did. I mean, loved ones who were passing away, and businesses that went out of business that had been around for a long time, and so they had to deal with so much more than what Todd and I had to deal with. But still, it was tough that we had something that was really gaining momentum. And then through, things out of our control, we just had to shut her down.
Bad timing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, I think there's the last serious one, but I mean, I'm sure everyone is thinking this right now. I mean, how do you organize it all? How do you have time? How do you manage time management and just keep every day with so many different things going on?
So for me, it's both a blessing and a curse. I definitely have OCD.
Just unlimited energy.
Right. And so for me, the motto, a place for everything, everything in its place, really hits home.
Sure.
So I tend to be, hyper organized. And that's how I keep my head above water. If I weren't that way, it'd be a struggle for me. I have to be careful not to be, in startup land, you have to be careful not to worry about too much of the minutia. You have to be flexible and
big picture
and be willing to adapt as things happen. So, kind of finding that sweet spot of being organized and adaptable. And I'm getting there. I'm getting there. And just reminding myself that it's a gift to be able to have these opportunities. I mean, I'm so blessed that these opportunities have come my way. And anytime I feel like, man, I'm dragging, today was a tough day. It's like, dude, you got it so easy. You have it so easy. Just shut up and, keep grinding.
Yeah. That's awesome. Extracurriculars. You're also a drummer.
Correct.
What is that, like a passion project? You still do? Is that kind of how you unwind?
Total passion project. I'm in a band. We're sort of on hiatus right now.
What's the band
called? We're all
called?
so busy, but I play drums in a band with folks that I've known since grade school and high school.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Long time.
And we're pretty good. I mean, there's actually some talent there. It's a passion project because, unless you're Beyonce or Taylor Swift, you're not. If you're just a local type band, and we don't play all that frequently, we're not constantly, out on tour.
You're not on tour,
right? You don't get paid a lot, and so we don't do it for the pay. We do it.
It's fun.
We love to do it, and we do a lot of, and we have done a lot of kind of nonprofit gigs where. A friend of ours needs to raise a few dollars. So of course we'll play for free and the money can go to them. And that's a blessing to be able to do that. There's kind of an old saying, especially for local bands like ours, you get paid to set up and tear down. You play the music for free.
Right.
And there's a lot of truth to that.
That's awesome.
And I just love playing drums. I mean, it's fun. It's creative. It's an outlet. Again, my wife is really supportive. She's very musically inclined.
Oh.
So it's just a fun thing to do, and it's just a great creative outlet.
Yeah. That's how long have you been playing for?
I've been playing on and off since high school.
Okay.
I started when I was about a junior in high school, and what had happened was a friend and I, a few friends and I, we'd created a band. He had just started playing guitar. I had not even started playing drums yet, so I figured. We literally had a gig in a couple of months, so I had to learn to play drums in that 2-month period. And I wasn't great, but I was good enough for that first gig.
That's hilarious.
So much fun. And I had a fantastic drumming teacher, a guy by the name of Vince Littleton, Spokane kid, went to U-High at Eastern. And I mean, it's not an exaggeration to say he is world class. I mean, he's done drumming for Bonnie Raitt. Wow. He auditioned to be Carlos Santana's touring drummer. Nice. I mean, he is really, really good, a great teacher, an even better human being. So, I had him in my corner kind of, teaching me along the way, and it's just been an absolute
That's
blast.
fantastic.
Yeah.
If you could pick one band you're gonna open for them one night only, what band are you picking?
Boy, that is a great question. I would say probably AC/DC.
Nice.
Because they are just a party band, a fun band.
They have a good time.
the crowd is already going to be ready to just let it rip.
Yeah.
So they would be a fantastic band to open for, and they just seem like nice guys.
Yeah,
They just seem like nice guys.
Yeah.
So that would be a treat to be able to do that.
That's awesome. Well, we can see if we can hook that up when this podcast goes viral, goes
Beautiful.
famous. We'll
make some calls if you could.
Yeah, I'll make some calls.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thanks, Steve. I really appreciate your time. That's all I have for
My pleasure.
you. But
Thanks for letting me do this, and what a treat. I really appreciate it.
You told people your email earlier. We'll put that in the show notes, but where can people find out about RowStream, get in contact with you?
RowStream.com. There isn't it's only a kind of a one-page placeholder, but RowStream.com. They can send an email to me at steve@rowstream.com. We're also on the Apple App Store and Google Play. You can get information there as well.
Perfect. We'll get you some 5-star reviews.
Excellent. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Blake.